What's up, folks? We are back. Episode 4, I believe now. Justin in the Jungle. This is one of those ones I don't even want to do, y'all. I'm done. I am done this week. That was a hurtful one. That was a hurtful one. We're gonna talk about the Ravens game today. A couple, I mean, considering what is happening right now as far as Joey B and an injury, we weren't out of it. I thought towards the end I thought there might be a chance, especially on that last drive. But man, we were not stopping that run. We were not stopping that run. And look, man, I'm gonna just do it now. Let's get it out of the way. I'm gonna eat crow this week. I'm gonna eat some crow. Lamar Jackson, had the whole video that got in some Ravens fans' feelings. Yeah, he didn't look too bad. What was he? 24, 33, 237, two touches. Yep. There is some couple really awful passes, but you guys got the W. I'm gonna zip my mouth today. I will gladly do that because I kind of have to, if I'm being honest. There's really nothing to say about that game that I really want to talk about. But let's get into it. Let's get into the big story. It was funny. We were watching the game, and my buddy Kyle Peak hits me up, and he says he hits a group up. We're in a fantasy football group. He hits us up, and he's like, "What's up with Burrow? Like, this is like third or fourth quarter." He's like, "Joey B hasn't looked downfield more than 20 yards this whole game and just keeps check downing." Like stuff that you don't imagine from Joe Burrow. Like, especially against the Ravens. We know what he did against the Ravens in the past. 500 plus passing yards on him once. So it was weird. And honestly, even that Browns game when he 82 yards the entire game, and he just hasn't looked like himself. And I think, there is something. Obviously there's something. They said after the game he was limping and cussing, and we all saw him with the little massager. We all saw it on that calf. And it's a weird spot now because we've started 0-2 before. Last year, still made the AFC Championship. Last year, Burrow told everyone, like, relax. We got nothing but time. Nothing but time, J. Carr. And it was a different vibe. This 0-2 is a much different vibe, if I'm being honest. I haven't hit the panic button. I do believe that if someone can turn it around, it is Joe Burrow. But my thing is if he's hurt, we have way too much invested in him to be playing week 3, week 4, week 5. And I know I see the percentages now of us even making the playoffs, of us winning the AFC North. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I'd almost say you'd have to sit him. And I get it. And outstanding performance by T. Higgins. T. Higgins balled out. And I get we're in his contract year. And I get this could easily be his last year in a Bengals jersey. And I know you have to capitalize on that. I mean, Jamar Chase, he hasn't really got off to the best start, but you know what he's capable of doing. Like that's not a problem. But right now, you need him and T. Higgins just to both be, and obviously Joe Burrow. Our field, our window. I remember Burrow said the windows, however long he's here. Yeah, I love a confident quarterback, but I'm being honest. We have to do something. We have to. I don't like the backup who Simeon. I I don't. I'm not sold on him. I don't. I. Yeah, there's a lot of talent around him, and he might be able to get us by. It could be like another when AJ McCarron had to play when Andy Dalton tried to be a linebacker after he got intercepted in that 2016 playoff game that we should never talk about ever again. But that I we're in a weird spot because you have to be careful with Burrow. Like if he's the least bit hurt, come on, man. And especially the new Monday Night Football curse. I mean, some brutal injuries happening on Monday Night Football. And Joey Burrow doesn't need to be one of those. So, what do you guys think? Tell me when you talk to me this week. With the window, with the T. Higgins being in a Bengals uniform, do you go get a solid number 2 quarterback, one that can, you know, if he has to play 4 or 5 weeks this week, do we do that? Do you take the chance? I was talking to my buddy Jimmy at the bar on Sunday when we were watching the game. And that calf injury, man, that's an ACL waiting to happen. And that's the last thing we need. So that's why I'm asking you guys. Simple question. Like, what do you guys think? I would say if we could find a solid number 2, if Joe Burrow is not Joe Burrow, sit him. If we have to call this season a wash, it would be devastating. Unless for some football gods bless us, we get to run it back with this offense. Yeah, I don't know. And if we're going to talk about wide receivers, we're going to talk about our man, Charlie Jones on the touchdown. Who saw that one coming? I thought for sure that was coming back. When I saw those flags fly, with the way that we were just sloppy, man. I thought that was coming back. And me and my dad obviously text a lot during the games. And I remember years ago, growing up, that man always preached discipline in Bengals games. I remember, I always thought it was the funniest thing when I was little because he was always like, it's discipline. It's just damn discipline. This team's not disciplined. And I was just like, this is pretty funny. Like, he just keeps saying discipline, but. But then I saw myself Sunday texting him with exclamation points. Discipline. Holy shit. The first couple plays, first couple drives of that game, like, stupid penalties. Like, we could have been on the board, man. We weren't. You got to capitalize. And Baltimore did. They got that interception, and they went down and capitalized. Easily could have been a game changer. We score that drive, we might be in a lot better mood than we are today. What do you guys think? But you know what? I thought Joe Burrow looked great in the second half. Honestly, he finally looked like the Joe Burrow of old at moments. Like I said, T. Higgins had his moments as well. A few of them, a couple touchdowns. I mean, side note, let's get into it. That parlay I gave you guys, my bad. 0 for 2. Tried to fade me, though. Oh, no, I got one. What did I have? Let me look at my list from last week. Joe Mixon over 57 yards. I believe he finished with 59. So 1 of 3 ain't bad. That Joe Burrow rushing touchdown, though, that was the one. And if I'm being honest, Tyler Boyd completely missed a touchdown. I don't know how he did not catch that, but what a game. Ravens, AFC North football. Hey, we started 0-3 in the AFC North last year, so I mean, like I said, there might be something there. I'm not I'm still with it. I'm still with it. Keep it going. What? They said we're gonna finish 9-8. Nah, we're still going above 12. Still going above 12. Clip that and hopefully play it after week 17 when we're 12-5. 13-4. Whatever. Maybe we'll just win. Maybe we'll just lose 2 games all season. Maybe I'm the dipshit over here. You know. I don't know. I wanted to wait until today to record this. First, I wanted to see if they're going to give us any updates on Joe Burrow before we did this again, and they haven't. I did make one prediction right. I did say that our boy for the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, would end up being the highest paid quarterback next. And, you can call me Nostradamus if you'd like. But let's talk about last night, man. I don't know. I hate to say a win for the Bengals, but obviously it was. Now we only have one 2-0 team in the AFC North. So it's very much easier to catch back up. We're already playing from behind, but if I'm being honest, though, man, I was, a little critical of Browns fans last week about how some of them, not all of them, respect to a lot of them, how some of them were just like sore winners. And I was just like, I was very annoyed with some of the stuff I was seeing online about just it was a little much. I was like, you guys have beat us 5 of the last 6 times. Like, why is this time so much more annoying? And then it comes out that Burrow hasn't been playing too healthy. And I see, in particular, there's a couple like on Facebook that are like posting all these memes and all this stuff about like his injury and everything. And so I even said, I was like, you guys are making me cheer for the Steelers this Monday. I mean, obviously, I didn't want the Browns starting 2-0 in the AFC North as a Bengals fan. But even as a Bengals fan, the fact that you ever have to cheer for the Steelers, like, that tells you how annoying some of you guys were. And look, I get that. I get it. I'm a Bengals fan. I know what bad years look like, baby boy. I've had quite a few. Too many to count with 2 hands and 2 feet, 2 toes. What the hell am I talking about? But last night, I admit, like, I'm cheering for the Steelers. And man, when Nick Chubb went down, it was gruesome. Disgusting. Like, the fact that ESPN wouldn't even play the replay, and it was in group chats and everything where I got to see it. I worked late last night, so I got home. I got the text in the same Cincinnati group, and it was like just watching it. life is bigger than football. As someone that was even in the Cincinnati Stadium the night of Damar Hamlin, like life is bigger than football. And I've witnessed it firsthand. And as much as I want to celebrate last night's game, like I feel horrible for not only the fans of the NFL, fans of the Browns, family and friends that cheer for the Browns, but God, when I saw and I'm not saying this just to like, I don't know. I think we might have witnessed Nick Chubb's last game. Same exact knee from the college injuries, everything that's happened to him in his career. And as much as I wanted the Steelers to win last night, I found myself like realizing like towards the end, I was cheering for the Browns. I know that their season just got longer and way more challenging without Nick Chubb. And you always hear people say, you're like, oh, we want the absolute best that you guys have. And it's not necessarily true. And that was, I saw some pretty disgusting things, even from our fan base, about Nick Chubb's injury. And you want the best. And as upset as I was, like at Browns fans for the memes about Joe Burrow being injured and everything, I looked at the characters. Like I looked at the Browns fans that were doing that, and it wasn't anyone that I would say I hold in any respect. Like they were just like miserable people that love to see miserable things happen. So as much as I, as a fan, wanted the Steelers to win last night, like my heart's out to you, Browns fans. And it's not just Nick Chubb. I I don't know what is going on with Deshaun Watson. Obviously, I have like fans of every other football team except the Cleveland Browns have some very critical opinions about Deshaun Watson and 99.9 off the field issues. So, but last night, the two face masks, some of the inaccuracy on the downfield, like just inaccurate passes. I I don't think he's the answer. And I know, let's go. He beat the Bengals. Nick Chubb beat the Bengals. I'd say Nick Chubb had a much more important role in that Bengals victory than Deshaun Watson. But man, I was talking to my buddy Johnny, who was like really good friend of mine. We talk a lot of Bengals Browns football. And I even told him last night, like, it almost reminds me of Tiger Woods. How he was great, then had some off the field stuff happen, and he was never Tiger again. He had his moments, but he was never that dominant force that was young Tiger Woods. And I think that happened with Watson. And I could be talking too early. Who knows? But that Deshaun Watson is far, even against the Bengals, that is not what you want to spend. I forget what is 250 guaranteed or whatever. That's not it. I don't know what is, and I'm stuttering, listen to me. But This is the NFL. Like, this sport won't wait. This sport doesn't wait for you. It'll pass you by. And all the games that he's missed, that could be a huge part of it too. And you add that on to any time we saw it last year when he first came back, and drunk fans in the stands are definitely heckling that guy. You put that on with the guilty, by far guilty, in the court of public opinion, and just the lack of amount of playing time that he's had. And who knows, man? This sport might have left him. And I'm not, you know, saying that in a gloating way or anything by any means, or trying to make this like about the Bengals. We'll see in the next couple weeks. But what did I say on my last podcast? Like, there is, like, when I saw those ignorant fans just like acting like the Super Bowl is already theirs to lose. This is the NFL. Any given Sunday. And it's the tale of two opposites in one game last night. Because of everything with Deshaun Watson, Browns fans know no one is cheering for Deshaun Watson. I even know Browns fans that are in weird situations. Like, they cheer for their team, but they're not cheering for Deshaun Watson. But then you have Nick Chubb, who has been just an amazing talent, somebody that was great for that team, and now he's out. So just as like a fan of football and a fan of the Bengals, fan of the rivalry, it is the weirdest spot because you don't want to see that happen to Nick Chubb. No one does. But I'm not going to say the world was celebrating watching Deshaun Watson have meltdowns yesterday. So we'll see. I mean, I could be wrong. Spent a lot of time talking about that game last night, but I mean, it has a lot to do with the Bengals season. I mean, right now the Browns are still in front of the Bengals, so we have to we'll see where it goes. I heard Kareem Hunt was visiting the Browns today, so he might be on his way back. Jonathan Taylor is looking for a new home. Brandon Jacob, I don't even know what's going on with him. I haven't really looked into that. But yeah, man, really not too much more to say. I think we're all just kind of sitting closely, just refreshing ESPN news page to see what's going on with Joe Burrow. I mean, it's not time to hit the panic button, but it is time to admit this 0-2 is different. This isn't, and last season it was, we have Joe Burrow, we're fine. This season's, do we have Joe Burrow? Are we fine? There's a lot of questions, man. Big Monday night game coming up this week. I got a few friends out here that are Rams fans, so I'm going to reach out to them, and we're finally going to get this pod going the way I wanted it to. Oh, I still don't have a background yet. I'm still doing the virtual, and I can't even wear my favorite Bengals hat because it blends into the fans behind me. But yeah, we're going to get that too. I'm going to get that going. But yeah, this week, I'm going to actually send a text here after this, and we're going to get a Rams fan on. We're going to talk about their season, talk about what's coming up. And then hopefully by next week, hopefully within the next episode, we'll have an update on Joe Burrow, what's going on, what the game plans are. We got a lot to still unwrap before our big Monday night game. But thanks, guys. Thank you guys again for tuning in. As always, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends. We're getting there, man. It's just this little podcast that could, but it's been pretty cool getting a few people telling me that they listen to it, and makes me feel good. Even it was cool. Had some Browns fans last time tell me that they tuned in. Some of them to say how I was acting, and you're right, Smuck. Dog shit. We look like dog shit. But anyways, guys, it's been another fun one. I love you guys. Until next episode, hoo day, baby.